Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some.
Show me.
Show me some.
Show me.
Show me some.
Good day, madam.
Show me some.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
show me
Good
some.
day, sir.
There you go. You got to give me my good day, sir. And look at this get up. we got another new necklace. You got kind of a purple next, purple shirt, purple glasses with your purple, our purple emblem. I'm liking this look, girl.
I don't know how many people are on YouTube to like see the whole situation. I think Spotify was really
It was, yeah, that was definitely the jam. That's where I'm like, screw it. I'm wearing a hat all the time. Not nobody, but it's a much larger percentage on Spotify. So if you want to see Miranda's glasses every day, you got to shoot over to YouTube.
great.
So today, what's going on here? Today, I love this one. I really do, because you were bringing up, so many kind of good ideas with this too, that I think can just really kind of help with like overcoming objections. But it's because that's what one of people's biggest fears, right? Is overcoming objections. How do I overcome? Right. And it's not necessarily overcoming objections. It's about putting your head kind of in this right frame of mind with active listening, becoming an active listener. And I cannot tell you, I love it. So I think we should do the same thing here. I think have you lead with this one. I got my timer going here. Do you have yours going or no?
Absolutely.
You always do. You're just always like, you're Johnny on the spot. So active listening, this might even be like a part one, I think, because there is just so much to talk about with it and really get your brains kind of thinking and geared around this idea of what we're going to talk about. So Miranda, I love it. And I really want you to kind of like start with like the vacation kind of arena that you are going into, because I think that we can really help some people with this one.
All right. So here's the thing. The number one thing, like I'm sure we've all heard the phrase that you want to listen like twice as much as you talk, right? And while you're listening, there's one thing that we can do on the phone, in the sales presentation, recruiting, with our spouse, with our kids. It's universal. Is the rule of when you hear something 2 times. Okay, like if somebody brings up something once, you can kind of like ignore it, right? But if they bring up something 2 times, it's important to them. Right. For example, John, let's say I'm talking to you and I'm booking an appointment with you, and you bring up your children. Oh no, I'm busy with my kids, this and that. And you're like, okay. And then you bring them up again. It's like, it's almost rude. Like if I don't ask you about them. Right. So if you hear someone bring up something 2 times, it's now you have an invitation to ask them about it. So I'd be like, oh, wow, how old are your little ones? Or whatever it is. And for those of you that have a hard time figuring out what to talk to people about, that right there, number one, you're going to build rapport. Number 2, they're going to know you're listening to them. And that really just kind of helps people across the board just be more comfortable with going through this process with you.
Yeah. And I would also say this too, Miranda. I think one of the most important things that we can do, and this is going to go for, I think, all 3 things. Number 1, your script. Number 2, your rebuttals. Number 3, your presentation script. Memorize all 3, because if you're too focused on what you're going to say, you're never going to have the ability to be able to be an active listener, because you're going to ignore it because you're so focused. Like, you ever have those people when you're in a conversation with them, they ask you a question and you're in the middle of the conversation, they immediately ask you another question? Is because they're so focused on their agenda, they're not actively listening. And immediately it's a turn off for me. Immediately it's like, why am I going to continue to talk if they're not going to listen to me anyway? So I want to give you guys a trick really quick that will absolutely help you with memorization. It's a lot of work up front, but you'll never have to do it again. I did this 7 years ago and I can still rattle off my phone script today. I did this 7 years ago. I can still rattle off my presentation script today. And this is the same way that actors and actresses memorize their scripts and memorize their lines, and they got hundreds of pages to memorize. So what you're going to do is you are going to take your script. So say the first page, you're going to take your script, you're going to write down you're going to read the first line out loud 7 times. You're then going to write that first line down 7 times. You're then going to push everything off to the side. You're then going to say it out loud 7 times. Okay. So then what you're going to do is you're going to then do the first line and the second line. You're going to read it 7 times. You're then going to write down that first line and that second line 7 times. You're going to push everything off to the side. You're going to say it out loud 7 times. Then what you're going to do is add the third line and do the exact same thing. 4th line, 5th line, 6th line, until you get all the way through the page. That very first line, you should do like 333,000 times. But it'll give you the ability to memorize it. You never have to do it again. You won't even have to have your script in front of you. You won't have to have your rebuttals in front of you. You will not have to have your presentation script in front of you, and you will be able to actively listen to the people. And you'll be able to even do that, count in your head. All right, they brought up the kids one time. They brought up vacationing one time. They brought up this one time. And I think that that's super important for everyone to do. Memorize your stuff so you can actively listen, Miranda.
Yeah. And it's like, if you want this to pay you like a hobby, don't do that. Right? If you're looking for this to pay you like 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, build a team that's going to be like $500,000, $1 million, like you got to start acting like it. Right? You got to act. And this is literally like your PhD in insurance or any type of sales, really memorizing your script. Right? So, but yeah, I would say, John, even on top of that, like when people, one of the biggest challenges on the appointment call is when we get to a date and time decision and the people say that they're busy, right? Or can you call me back? I want to talk to my significant other, right? And they try to get us off the phone. Does that ever happen to anyone? Like,
Right.
and you can use this active listening right there. That's really one of my favorite parts to do it, because they're going to say, I'm busy. And the first time that they ignore it, you can go right back to offering 2 more times. But if they bring it up again, we're going to ask them about it. Right? We're going to be like, John, okay, so are you busy doing anything exciting? And he's going to answer.
Yeah, I got a vacation coming up.
Vacation. Wow. And now here's the other part. You're going to ask 3 follow-up questions. Where are you going? How long? What are you doing there? Right? 3 follow-up questions. And then you can go back to script, back to date and time progression, back to whatever. What did I just do? Right? He tried to put me off by saying that he was busy. And I got him to tell me about how busy he was. And guess what? Because I'm now his friend, almost everyone's going to go and book a time with you after you do that. It's like a magical recipe.
Well, and it's almost rude if you don't do it. Right? It's almost like you just genuinely don't even care about them.
Yep.
And so if you look at it from that perspective, it's like don't be ignorant, right? Really dig in there and find out. And here's the cool thing too. You can even find out when they're going. So today might be Wednesday and they're not leaving until Friday. That gives you the opportunity to ask a question, make a friend, and now you understand what they're doing, where they're leaving, all that good stuff. Now you can actually find a time. Oh, listen, I know you said you're leaving on Friday. Really cool thing about this is it only takes 15 minutes, and you're not even gonna have to think about this thing when you're on vacation. So what I want to do is I want to offer up a time for you to, you know what I mean? And you'll be able to kind of dive right into it, Mer.
And I'm going to actually add on one more layer. Ready? Okay, this is advanced now, okay, with the whole busy thing. Okay? So John says he's busy. I can ignore it, right? He says he's busy again, and I'm like, wow, busy doing anything exciting? He says.
Yeah,
we're pick anything.
We got to take our dog to the whatever, right? The park. I don't know.
Park. Oh my goodness! Like, what kind of dog do you have?
Oh, we have a German Shepherd.
You do? Oh my goodness! What kind of park is it that you guys normally go to?
But it's actually a dog park where we have friends that we've made there that actually now they bring their dogs as well.
Oh, nice. So, like how long are you going to be there today, do you think?
We normally go there for, I don't know, about an hour, hour and a half.
An hour? cool. Here's the next part. If I really want him to know that I listen, you can repeat what he just said. Wow, John, I can tell that you're busy taking your German Shepherd to the dog park for an hour. I wish I had a German Shepherd. You get the idea, right?
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? I have an opening in 2 hours at this time. So did you want to do that time or maybe 30 minutes later? Because I'm really busy. Would this time work or that time be better for you?
Yeah.
And it's
Emphasize the fact that you're busy as well, right? It's relating. It's that whole old school feel, felt, found idea. And then keep in mind too, all right, like people aren't as busy as they say that they are. Busy is just an scapegoat to get them away from them doing that, like them not doing what you want them to do. If that, it's just a guard.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
Yeah, it's a facade. And so it's like, listen, if they were really, like, I always try to tell people this too, is like, even when you get somebody on the phone in that first like 15 seconds, they say, oh, you know what, I don't have time, I'm busy right now. They're not busy. They're just not. Like, I really want you guys to understand that they're not busy. You know what busy is you don't answer the phone when you have both kids in your hands, you have your phone in your pocket, it's going off, and you have groceries in both your hands as you're walking to the car. You physically, like, you can't answer the phone, right? Or if I'm driving, I'm on another call right now and another call is coming in, I'm immediately ending it so I can continue to focus on that particular conversation. And if they weren't truly engaged in that conversation, they're answering your phone call. So it's like, you have, like, I think we as human beings have to like get rid of that idea of like, they are super busy, Miranda.
And Jeffrey Goodheimer says this, and I loved it. It's always stuck with me. If they're not interested, we're not interesting.
That's right.
Okay. And okay, people are busy. People love talking about themselves. Okay, so that's why when you hear someone bring up something twice, ask them about it. Don't talk for 35 minutes about it. Maybe 3 follow-up questions. That's it. Go back to script. But it's magic, you guys. We can take whatever it is that they're stressed out about or busy of whatever and make it work for us instead of against us. So
that's exactly right. Again, you are the stimulus that creates the response. I love what you just said there, right? You are the stimulus that creates the response. And so if you're constantly getting this, it's what you're doing and not what they're doing. Keep that in mind, okay? Because you are literally, like, you are the director. You are the director in this movie, right? And you ever, like, Miranda, you ever go and sit down and you watch a movie and it's like, this is boring. Well, the director didn't relate with you well enough, but you sit down and you're laughing in stitches the entire time. Like, the director that was the stimulus that created that response. So it's like you just understand that you are the director here. So really good. If they want to know how not to suck at sales, Miranda, what should they do?
keep on listening.
Active listening.
You got to active listen. Absolutely. And this is something you're going to want to listen to a couple of times because this technique, it works, right? Master this darn thing. You can use it on your spouse, your kids, your client, like all over the place. So yes, get the most out of this 12 minutes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We truly appreciate all of the comments and all the love and all the outpouring that you guys are giving us. If you want to contact us individually, if you have certain questions for us about this particular episode, or if you have questions about anything, any ideas, tips, or tricks that you want to share with us, please click the link below. You'll have a direct access link to Miranda and a direct access link to myself.
Yep, keep the ideas coming, guys, because anything that we can do to help you not suck at sales, well, that's our mission. So it's a wrap.
I go for that gusto, losing ain't an option. Check a bag and make deposits and deposits and deposits. You see me shining.